is going to be a very interesting session. We're going to have an informal chat with our world leader, Francesco Arezzo. And may I invite him on stage, please? Rotary International President Francesco Arezzo is an orthodontist in private practice and owns, very interestingly, an agricultural enterprise that produces extra virgin olive oil in Sicily. He owns 2 boutique hospitals in the Monte Ible region. I beg your pardon. He owns 2 boutique hotels in the Mount Ible region of Sicily and enjoys modern art and opera. He has been a member of 36 years of the Rotary Club of Ragusa. His partner is Signora Anna Maria Crisione, an entrepreneur in the tourism field. They have 2 daughters and 2 grandchildren, interestingly named Francesco and Anna Maria. His daughter, Raffaella, spent a year in Florida as a part of a Rotary Youth Exchange. Francesco and Anna Maria are benefactors and major donors to the Rotary Foundation. Very interestingly, Francesco is a family man and plays the dragon slayer with his grandchildren, pretending to be the dragon or the dragon slayer. I can't imagine Francesco being a dragon. You are the dragon always? Oh, wonderful. He's a complete family man and known for his humility and being very, very humble. Very affable and most unpretentious. He's got this very adorable characteristic about him of always putting others before him. In his words about the Rotary Foundation, President Francesco says, "This November, let us give with gratitude, with joy, and with hope. Through our foundation, we unite for good, and in doing so, we leave behind not only projects, but a legacy of peace, trust, and service above self." So, Francesco, a few questions for you. Let's start with polio eradication. Beyond the final push to 0 cases, what is your vision for how Rotary can best leverage the polio infrastructure and partnerships to address other critical global health challenges, particularly in developing countries or countries like India?
Polio. Eradication of polio is one of my 3 main goals for this year. And it is something that each Rotarian must feel as a personal responsibility, because it's something that we began about 35 years ago, and we are so far, so near, but we are not able to finish this campaign. It is a great successful campaign, because we have a number of cases, 39 this year, but they are all in one zone, that is between the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. And all the samples of the other part of the 2 countries are negative. The environmental samples of the other part of the countries are negative. This means that the virus is isolated in a very small region now. It is the good moment to try to win this campaign. The problem is a sociological problem, because the parents don't want to vaccinate the children. And when our vaccinators go to find these children, they are not able to find them, because they were transferred in other houses to the grandparents, relatives, and so on. So now we are trying to change the politics. I was in September. In August, I was in Pakistan to speak with the Prime Minister and with the Chief of the Army of Pakistan, because we need to change the politics and we need also to have more defense for our vaccinators. I discovered, going to Pakistan, that we lost between 2012 and 2022, we lost 68 vaccinators. 68. Between the vaccinator, volunteers, employees, and military that they go with our vaccinators to defend them, but sometimes they die. In 10 years, I discovered that the Rotary International doesn't have the real number of how many people we have lost during this campaign. I was very astonished of this news, because they are people that they have lost their life for us, to help our campaign. So we have to tribute and honor to these martyrs. And I wanted to know how many people we have lost in all these years. So far, I discovered that in 35 years of campaign, we have lost in Pakistan 382 people. We cannot abandon this campaign. We have 382 lives to honor. We are obliged to continue and to finish as soon as possible this campaign. The campaign is also a great success, because with the vaccine anti-polio, now we distribute also a lot of other things, other vaccine for other disease. Our network was so precious for COVID, because it was used to distribute the vaccine anti-COVID, and we give them also other kinds of goods, like pharmaceutical and other things. So now the campaign is very complex, is more complex, is more detailed, and so is so important. Even if we finish and we are able to eradicate the polio, the network that we created in those countries is so precious. In Pakistan, in Afghanistan, but also in India, everywhere remain something that a legacy of Rotary to those countries.
Thank you. So as a past governor, I understand the challenges and rewards of the role. What is the most crucial ongoing contribution you believe past governors can make to their district and to Rotary International post their term?
The past governors usually are the main problem of the governors. But they are a treasure of experience, of knowledge, and of advisors that they are, that is so precious all for the district. In my district, we have a problem with the past governor, because some of them want to guide the governor from the second line. And this is a big problem, but this happens only in Sicily. this doesn't happen in any other part of the world. It's just we have this trademark is our. We have to create an atmosphere of faith, of trust between the district, the governor, and the past governor, because it is so important that we learn to plan our action. 1 year is a very short term. It is not possible to do something that is really important for the community. There are exceptions. When you have a governor like Manish, 1 year is also too long. But it's an exception. You have this trademark. But usually 1 year is very short. And we have to learn to work together. To work together because to be efficient, to be important and crucial for the community, for the problems of the community, we have to learn to work for 2, 3, 4 years in continuity. And so it's important to cooperate. The governor must cooperate each other. And this is so clear, but is also not easy to apply in the districts. But it is what we want to achieve with the strategic plan. So we have to work together, to speak each other, and to plan together great dreams, great plans to realize. Because if we want to be incisive, impressive, if we want to do something of important for the community, we have to dream big. To dream big and to dream a great plan for the community. And only working with continuity we can achieve great results.
Thank you. But let me assure you, Francesco, that Sicily doesn't stand alone. We in India have very similar problems for Don Corleone and also the governors. And we have more than 2 lines. We have not just the second line, we have a third line also directing. My next question to you, Francesco, is that what is the most profound lesson about service in leadership and leadership you've learned while traveling around the world and meeting Rotarians from all walks of life?
Service and leadership, I remember the past president, Majab, the past president from Thailand helped me.
Bichai
Ratakul said me a story. As you know, Bichai Ratakul was a politician, yes, also.
Deputy Prime Minister.
And he said, once I was in a rally in a square, in a small villages in Thailand, to speak, and I was on my van, and was an evening so hot and so wet. And at the end of my speech to the crowd, I realized that we were without water. And I was so tired, so wet, but we were without water. I was really in great difficulty. And he saw a boy in the corner of the square with a box with fresh fruit. The boy cut the crowd, arrived under the van of Bichai, gave to him the box with the fresh fruit, and went away. And Bichai remained astonished, because for him was a fortune, was great. And he said, that boy, poor, without shoes, he was the perfect example of Rotarian service. Because that boy, from the corner of the square, saw the problem. There was a crowd in the square. Nobody understood the problem of Bichai. He saw the problem. He had compassion. Nobody asked him to go and to give his treasure. But he did. He did without any, and he went away as soon, without the possibility for Bichai to thank him. So, capacity to see the problem, capacity to solve the problem as soon as possible by himself, and service above self, without waiting anything from the...
Thank you. So with all the demands of the Rotary International presidency or president-elect, the single personal memory or conviction that you return to when you need to recharge, remember why you dedicate so much to Rotary?
Essentially, I can nominate two people, two persons. I lost my father when I was very young. I was 10 years old. And when you grow without a father, you create in your mind another figure, another person that can substitute in some way your father. And I had a cousin of my mother, Gioacchino, is the name. That was fascinating for me because he had a great culture. He had was always very elegant, very with a great capacity to speak, and he was a found Rotarian, and probably he was a model for me when I was so small and without a father. And the other person that for me was a model, is a model, and was in some way my mentor in Rotary International, is an Indian, is the past president Raja Sabu. Because Raja Sabu, when I was governor, when I went to the assembly before becoming governor, he gave a wonderful speech on the, I don't remember on what, and I went to Raja saying, Mr. President, because for me was the president, the international president, Mr. President, I'd like that you give this speech to my Rotarians in my district. I will see if possible, but after a couple of months, he wrote to me, I accept to come. It was magic. It was a great experience for me, a great, and he liked my district conference, and he was the first Rotarian, the first senior leader of Rotary International that believed in me, and he pushed for me at the beginning of my career in Rotary, and he obtained for me my first appointment in Rotary International. And I am so grateful to Raja because without Raja I remained just a past governor. One of the past governor in second line that.
So Rotary, as you've noticed, President Francesco, President Francesco has a monumental presence and impact here in India. What specific projects or initiatives in this region, like the fight against illiteracy or water access or whatever else, do you believe exemplify Rotary's power at its best?
In these days, I have seen several projects, and each of them is a model, is a perfect example of our action. Just to speak about one, but I could speak of each of them. But just to remind one, the project with the children that I saw for the first service, because he was so rich, because that service was involved all our 5 core values, because it was with the diversity, because tried to help the diverse, with the service, of course, with the leadership, but leadership I want to speak after, fellowship, because it was so in a joyful atmosphere. The president that doesn't remember the core values is very leadership, fellowship, because it was done all together, and leadership was so important for leadership, because was a project with a strong leadership, extremely strong, but not the leadership of the instructors, the leadership of the boys, of the girls, because they gave to me mainly, but I think to each of us, a great lesson of life, because their courage, their commitment to do something of great was so strong that was for me a moving lesson that day. Was one of the most moving services that I visited. I visited great services, but that was extremely moving for me.
So now you're here in Mumbai, a city of immense contrasts and energy. What is the one specific lesson or observation or feeling you hope to take away from this visit to inspire your work globally?
I found a great city. The city is huge. It's huge for me. I live in a city of 70,000 people. One building, probably. But it's a great city. It's a city that you feel that is alive, that is vibrant, sparkling, with a great energy, a great atmosphere. It's a wonderful city. Sometime probably, I don't know, for us is strange to live in a city that doesn't have one center, one historical center, because we are used in Europe to have the historical center of the city. Here it's difficult to find an historical center. It's a multi-center city. But what is amazing is the feeling of the people. The city is wonderful, but the people that live the city is really very interesting. With a great, I met people with a generosity that is not easy to find in other cities, and that was and this was very very impressive for me. I am trying to convince them to come to live in Ragusa. So far, I am not very successful in this in this tentative, but who knows?
So one final question, and then we'll take 3 questions, Manish, from the audience, okay? So if you could instill just one characteristic or sense of mission into every Rotarian's heart by the end of your term, what would it be and why?
One word.
No, just one characteristic or sense of mission into every Rotarian's heart by the end of your term, if you could instill it.
I say that we must have the compassion. Compassion in Italian, compassione, is a word that comes from Latin and is formed by 2 words, cum passione, passion, cum, cum patire, compassion comes from compatire, cum patire, that means in Latin suffer with, cum, with, patire, suffer. We must have the capacity to suffer with the people that we meet, to feel inside us their suffering, because that means to be a Rotarian, to feel their suffering, and if you feel their suffering, it is an order for you to do something, to solve, to wash. I don't know the right word in English, but to wash, to lenire, to wash the sufferance of the other people. And this is the main characteristic of a Rotarians.
What a beautiful thought that is, Francesco. To suffer or feel the sufferance of someone who is suffering and evoke compassion in yourself. Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And I'll throw open the floor for 3 questions. Please raise your hand and step forward. I'll hand a mic to you. And please remember, your question must be very brief. It should not be a commentary. It should be a question. Okay? All right. Thank you. So, anyone? Yes, Rupen, please come forward.
So any message for young Rotarians like me on how to accelerate Rotary service? How to accelerate Rotary service?
A young Rotarian asks to another young Rotarian. So there are two things very important in my opinion. One, how to accelerate. We need to do something of really revolutionary, of really new. Sometime we say, no, I don't want to change anything in my club because I want to remain faithful to the tradition of Paul Harris. But Polaris, in 1905, he did something of completely new, of completely revolutionary. He invented a kind of club that didn't exist, was not existing at that time. He did something of completely different. He was revolutionary. If Polaris come now, he found a kind of club completely different, new, adapt to the time that we are living now. So this is my advice for the governors. He is adapt for this. You have to found a club, but not a new club, a new traditional club that does always the same things. You have to found a club that you think is absurd, that is mad, that is out of the box. Use the word that you like, but that is completely, you are convinced that cannot function. But that is the way to renew our Rotary.
Any other questions? Yeah, Jaipal, please come forward. After Jaipal, there's Vinod, and then we will close the session.
Sir, today's in the Rotary world, the membership is a very big issue. The membership is dwindling. There are not many people who aspire to be the presidents. And the other line is there are a lot of people who want to be governors. And there's a big line for that. So what is the message? Believe you me, it is a very big burning, question that how do you motivate the people to come to Rotary? We are doing fantastic work in the #1 NGO in the world, the most respectable. So please tell me, sir.
How to motivate people to come into Rotary? Yes, that was one way to found new clubs, new way of clubs that are completely different from our clubs. Because if we are not able to attract the new generation, is because our Rotary club, traditional Rotary clubs, are not adapt for them. They don't want to enter in our clubs, but we need the young generation because the society is changing very quickly, and I am not able to understand the society that is changing. Society changes in a way so quickly. I see the change when it's already done, but we need to see the beginning of the change. We are not able to see. Young generation, they feel the change of the society. They are the change of the society. But to attract them, we need something of a completely new and adapt for them. That is what we have to do. We cannot say to them, why you don't want to come in my club? We are all very young people of 80 years. We need to invite them in something that is adapt for them. But we have to be brave to change our. Einstein said that the madness is to do always the same thing, hoping to have different results. So we have to change. We have to do different things. And this is the only way to renew really our, because you don't have any problem with membership, luckily. But in Europe, yes, in USA, we have problem because the young generation don't want to enter in Rotary. And this is the problem. You can. You are mad enough to create a mad club.
Vinod.
Mr. President, I joined Rotary in 1995. That time, the total membership was 1.2 million. And Rotary was spread in 158 countries, and there were 26,000 clubs. Today, when I stand here after 30 years, Rotary is in 208 countries, and we have 37,500 plus clubs. Why this membership is declining, and what is the future of Rotary?
The future of Rotary, in my opinion, is in two things, very, very simple. Improve the retention. We need to maintain our treasure, because our treasure are our members. Every member that we lose is a disaster for us, is to lose a war. So retention, new members, but new clubs, new kinds of clubs. And the second thing that I think is in the future of Rotary is the regionalization, because it is impossible to rule the Rotary. It is true that the Rotary is the same all over the world, but in effect, Rotary is different in each country. And in each country is different from the big cities, from the rural areas. So we need a legislation council that is nearer to the place where Rotary happens. So, for example, in India, we need a board of directors in India to rule the Indian Rotary with the tradition, the culture, and the past and the history of India. Because it is not possible to have the same rule in India and in Ghana or in Uruguay, because the traditions are different, the cultures are different, the past is different. So I think that the future are these two things, to great attention to membership and to apply a good regionalization. This is, for me, very, very important.
Wonderful. What a revolutionary thought that was, President Francesco. Thank you very much for having spent this time with us. It was a real joy and privilege to have talked to you. Thank you.